Long before the Skywalker saga, the galaxy was caught in another age of uncertainty. 5 years before the events of Star Wars, the Old Republic, the Republic and the Jedi Order held a fragile peace. Trade routes flowed, noble houses schemed, and the Sith, thought to be extinct, whispers of their existence, nothing more than old legends. But our story begins here, at the edge of that illusion. For 4 months, a band of unlikely companions have journeyed across the Republic, carrying out missions of diplomacy, of healing, of survival, and training. They have walked among nobles, tread cautiously through shadowed halls, and uncovered secrets buried deep beneath the surface of galactic politics. They have felt the weight of choice, where mercy and violence meet, where loyalty is tested, and where whispers of the dark side linger like a storm upon the horizon. And now, history turns. After centuries of silence, the Sith Empire has returned to known space. Their fleets pierce the darkness of the galaxy once more, and everything endured so far was only preparation for this very moment. I am Nahele Myrunji. I am the Holocron Master of the tale known as Edge of Tomorrow. These are the records of our heroes as they stand at the dawn of the Sith Empire's return, a time when every decision carries the power to shape the destiny of the stars. And so, their journey continues. The galaxy trembles, ancient enemies rise again, and the shadows of war stretch across every world. The fate of the galaxy may yet rest upon the choices of the few. All right, well, thank you. And if you are happening to come across our stream today, I just want to make sure that you are all aware that we're primarily doing this for ourselves, so we have a record for historical archives. We've been finding out that on our journeys that we've been having what happened that last session kind of questions. But with that said, if you do happen to come across this, please enjoy. Leave comments and direct them towards your favorite character. That way maybe they might respond to you. Other than that, I am the Holocron Master, which is just a fancy term for Dungeon Master. I will be narrating the story for our 5 players, but one of them is out today because they're got work obligations. Real life has hit them. We are using Star Wars Edge of the Empire pen and paper system, so you may see or hear things that may not align with Dungeons and Dragons, but that's because this system utilizes narrative dice, and a lot of the story is actually told based on the outcome of the dice. We do have a general idea of where the story is taking, but sometimes the dice can throw things into the loop and create spur-of-the-moment things, which is phenomenal because some of our coolest moments have come. Another thing that you need to be aware of is that we did start this campaign about 4 months ago, so our character introductions have kind of gone and come, and that's enough, I guess, of what we're doing here with our pen and paper. I will actually have, in order that you see on your screen, I'll actually have Suseel go first and just talk a little bit about her character, what she's experienced, and whatever else she'd like to share.
Suseel Kesvir is my character. She is a Feline, and she was born on Ord Mantell. She's had quite a going about it since her birth, as she was brought into slavery, and she got out of slavery by basically becoming slave to Another house, House Wrist, who she worked for most of her years at this point. Um, and just recently, in the last couple years, has actually um, been working for the Republic as an ambassador. She's taken on that role with some pride, but she keeps falling into this group of misfits and getting into a little bit of trouble and trying to find her own way and her own path. Because ultimately, her goal is to kind of chart her own path and not be strung up on, the ambitions and power struggles of others, which she's kind of been dealing with since she was alive. So she's just kind of going down this kind of rabbit hole of trying to find her own place and find her own survival. And then in the present, she's in this little adventuring group, I guess, with these other characters who, she's still trying to find her way around and still trying to find if she even fits with this group or if she still just needs to find her own path on her own. So that's kind of where she is.
Thank you, Suseel. And Oola, why don't you go ahead and talk about a little bit about your character, as much as you'd like to share. You don't have to share too much if you don't want to.
Okay, well, my character is Oola Tann. She is a pink Twi'lek, so basically she would be considered an outcast among the Twi'lek villages of her home on Ryla. She was taken in by the Jedi, so at age, I believe she's about 21, 22 right now. She's a newly appointed Jedi Knight. She's, excuse me, she's looking towards the future um, with the Jedi, taking care of the missions that she's sent on by the Jedi Council. Normally, right now, it's with her former. Um,
Padawan peer.
Thank you. Yes, her former Padawan peer. Um, Now I've gone totally blank. Anyways, she's looking forward to the now and the future. Currently, she's enjoying working with Nahele, who is a medic or a doctor. She's learning diplomacy in some ways from Suseel and learning how to deal with a droid, which she's not really been as accustomed to being at the Jedi Temple. So we'll look forward to what comes in the future.
Nice. And what about you, Niela?
My character is Niala Na. She's a young Iktochi doctor that was born on the moon Iktoch, and she left there with family when she was very young, and has only briefly returned a few times since then. Most recently, she was assigned as a doctor to a clinic on Belkadan before that world was invaded. But before that, she had spent her career mostly focused on improving her medical skills, precepting students when she was working for the Republic on Caravel, and she really enjoyed that. Neil is quiet, reserved. She doesn't like being the center of attention. She generally just accepts others as they are, has tries to have an optimistic outlook on life. She likes the others in her group that she's been traveling with off and on, but she doesn't really feel like she knows them well yet, even though they've been together in some interesting circumstances a few times. Right now, she's very preoccupied with what happens on Belkadam and some of the things that were said by the general or that she saw on a broadcast. So that has her very distracted and making it difficult for her to focus on what's happening on the planet they're on right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Neela. And last but not least, our faithful droid, HX. What would you like to say about yourself?
HX-7TV3-IL, Christian 1L. A droid that's been sentient and running around the universe for about 2.5 years and has a tendency to gather coin for odd jobs and other things. He's enjoyed the time with the group, even though they don't quite understand him. And I'll always be looking for a computer.
Awesome. And thank you guys. I appreciate that. And just for a recap before we start, you guys had descended into a elevator shaft, or turbo lift as Star Wars likes to call them, and you headed to the center of the town down this turbo lift into an old mining facility. Your objectives obviously were to look for the kids, but you also had like side objectives that you had discovered through your conversations in the town of the Cernpedal, which is aptly also the name of the planet. You know that if you found medical supplies, that you could potentially give that to the doctor within the small little settlement. You also know that there was, through your discoveries, one second here. And through your discoveries, you guys discovered that, let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking over my notes. Can you hear me now there, Chibi? Hopefully you can. And are you guys able to hear me through the stream? Looks like we're having a little sound issues. Are you able to hear me, Tony, in the stream?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. So you guys headed down into the lower parts of the town, like I said, and your objectives were to find the children. You also had an objective to find medical supplies and hand deliver those back to the doctor within the village. You also had another side objective. That other side objective was to find a lock crate that had something within it for what seemed to be like a homeless individual within the city. But as you guys discovered in your journeys down below, that individual was a former Republic soldier. So you actually found a little bit of a backstory about the individual that you had come across just kind of begging for money on the streets. And then lastly, and most importantly, your objective was to find the HMA for your shuttle, or your frigate rather, so you guys could get out of that system and hyperspace into get further away from the incident that happened at Belkadand. Now, your party did happen to split up, which in pen and paper rules, that's always a dangerous thing to do. You guys had diverted right down a tunnel, and Suseel, after darkness kind of consumed your group, kind of backpedaled and headed down the opposite direction from you guys. You guys, including Carek, who isn't here right now, happened to, you went down the path which led to the ship that you discovered through your previous session, had crashed through the upper layers of the planet down into the lower pits, and over the last decade, natural growth just consumed it, and it just kind of overwhelmed by just the natural elements of this tunnel. So it kind of just became part of the elevator, not the elevator shaft, but the cave itself. And through your explorations of this ruined ship, You had a few encounters. You came across some old abandoned repair bots. You also came across some, not pleasant rats that seemed to swarm, and they actually did do considerable damage to a few of your party members. However, our doctor, being as crafty as she is, got them back up and healthy after the encounter. You guys went then exploring the ship, and through exploring the ship, you guys did find the piece that you were looking for in the cargo bay after that last encounter. And that's actually where we panned over to Suseel. Suseel had gone down the other tunnel. She was following the red lights that hung from the ceiling of the cavern. And as she finished walking down that very long corridor, she came across a door that was sealed shut. And on the other side of the door, she could hear murmurings. So she kind of hid as best as she could. And as that door opened, two Sith soldiers, they're individuals who wear black armor. They have like these thin red visors, so they could peer out. We're just talking. They're just doing a little, like maybe a little scouting, just to make sure everything's quiet on the other side of that door. And they happened to come across Suseel. Suseel tried her best to try to get away. She tried all her cunning diplomatic means to try to smooth talk out of the situation. However, the Sith troopers weren't buying it, and they took her and apprehended her. She was then put into a prison, but within the prison were the missing children you were looking for. Suseel noticed that within that prison corridor of the compound, there was just one guy guarding them and the children, and she tried her best to try to talk the guard into just letting the children go. She wasn't really trying to fight for herself at that point. She was trying to get the children to safety, but the guard wasn't having it. He had orders from higher up, and he feared them a lot more than fearing his own conscience. And over time, the guard did let one of the three children go, and then just started going back to work. But then there was an emergency sound. The alarms were blaring, and the guard left Suseel and the kids alone in this prison cell. There, Suseel directed the children to go through a small vent that only they could fit through, and as they went through the vent, they popped the vent on the other side of the cell, and because apparently that vent literally just curved to the other end, and they eventually just let Suseel out. Suseel, being the adult in this situation, would attempt to take the children and get out of the prison. She went into the corridor, and in that corridor, she realized that the blast doors were slowly shutting down as the compound was going on lockdown. She sped up. She tried to race along the corridor. She found herself darting into what she assumed was just a broom closet, more or less, but she found out it was actually a long ladder that was going up towards the surface. Running out of options, she started to ascend, but while she had to ascend, the children kind of got separated from her for a moment because the blast doors had closed, and eventually she gave up climbing this huge ladder, and because she realized that she probably wasn't going to make it. She was getting exhausted. It's been a long day for her, so she headed back down, and as she opened the door, she saw the children looking at her. They were lost, apparently, and the blast doors that had lowered, that was the reason why she was forced into that small room to begin with, had raised again. And Suseel at that point took the kids, got out of the compound, and that's actually where she is left off. She told the kids to head down, follow the lights, and just keep going straight. If they kept going straight, they would eventually actually leave and find the turbo lift back to the town. So she got that going for them, and then she got to the intersection where she separated from the group, and now she's heading back towards the group. But the catch here is the troopers. The reason why the compound was on alert is because the sounds that were going on at the crash site with the other party members were allowed enough to alert some sensory, sensors within the corridor that something was going on in the crash site, something peculiar. Um, Perhaps the energy that was being dispersed by their blasters, perhaps the lightsabers that were being ignited, something caused these troopers to be aware of Oola, Nahele, HX, and Carek. Now, because Carek is missing tonight, we will say during the time of all that happening, Carek had informed the group that, hey, we are heading, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go back to the ship and see if Suseel went that way. You guys seem to be set. If you want to do a little more exploring, great. But I'll meet you back at the ship. The group didn't verbally agree, but we'll say that they agreed with this because they didn't want Suseel to be left alone. So they let Carek go out and get back to the ship to try to find Suseel. And actually, that's where we're starting our mission tonight. Is we're starting with Oola, Nahele, and HX-7T. They are in the cargo bay of the ship. Everything currently is silent for them. They just found their HMA, which is the hyper drive component that they were needing to get off this planet and out of the sector. And for now, everything is quiet. They're convened in this space, and all they have to do now is just get back to the surface and maybe turn in a few things and then get back to their ship and get the hyperdrive fixed. And so I'll start with you three. What would you guys
Let's
like
roll
to do?
Destiny.
Yes, go ahead and roll your light side points. For anyone that's not familiar with this system, Destiny is a point system that allows players to utilize like a light side or dark side point. I use the dark side point as the GM. The players use the light side, and they allow for like critical upgrades to their dice rolls, or they can downgrade an enemy roll, or as a GM, I can utilize those to create like really impactful story moments. So it's a really cool resource that the players get. Every time they use a light side point, I get a dark side point, and vice versa. When I use a dark side, they get a light side. So it's kind of like a give and take. And you guys did great because I think this is the first time you guys rolled more light side points than I did dark side, or I got dark side. So that's good. A little disappointed, but that's good. I only got one dark side out of all that. What? Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Last couple sessions, so you're all aware, they've been rolling a lot of dark side points, so I've been stacked. So it's fair that they are actually stacked this time in their favor. But with that all done, Oola, Nahele, HX-7T, you guys are in the hangar. You just found the part, and you just had that combat encounter. What would you like to do?
Let's go. Grab the part, head on out.
We should be cautious. I mean, we've already run into a few things and we're kind of beaten up right now. So let's make sure there's nothing out there waiting for us.
Oola, what
Is my
about you?
push button working?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, Willa's going to look at the other two, and she's going to um, take the lead since they know what's behind them at this point. So she's going to keep her lightsaber ignited as a light source and start leading the way back down out towards the tunnels, towards the intersection where they had originally split up.
Okay, great. And so what we're going to do here is you guys leave the way you guys came into the hangar. You know, the hangar was the first point of contact to get into to the down ship. And so as you guys leave the hangar and you're back into the cave, you guys can hear faintly in the distance the sound of synchronized footfalls coming your way. even though they're layered, they still have that synchronized stepping motion to them. And they're getting gradually louder as the seconds pass. What would you three like to do while you guys are hearing this like growing sound of footfalls?
Oola's going to hold a hand out, like to stop the group for a moment and look at the other two and check to see if they're hearing the same thing, because this doesn't sound like something good.
Nahele looks back at Oola with concern and shakes, kind of nods her head as if she's answering a question that Oola had asked, and then looks around. Like, it says quietly, "Is there any place to hide?"
Sounds like a good idea. Look, see what we can find.
Put away your lightsaber. We need no light. I'm gonna start
Oola
skittering.
disengages. Oola disengages the lightsaber. They use what light there is around them, or she does, to be able to see what's going on and look for a place to hide.
Nahele's going to reach out to HX because he has night vision and kind of follow him wherever he goes.
I'm gonna try to find a decent hiding space for us too. Then
All right, go ahead and we'll do a survival check for those who do not have light vision, and we'll do a perception check for HX because I know he definitely can see in this conditioning. It'll be 2 difficulty.
Oops.
Oh no. Okay.
Hang on, I'm re-rolling.
I win.
Okay.
I still failed.
So looks like we got a lot of threat and a lot of failure and 1 success. So that's good. So you guys are looking around, and because it's been nonstop encounter after encounter and you guys are in a strange environment, you guys try to find quickly a place to hide. And as you're trying to look for a place to hide, your options are very limited. Obviously, you could use the down ship to potentially hide for a moment to at least maybe obscure you directly from sight as whatever's coming your way enters that chamber you're in. Maybe I will say, maybe because we have an advantage on the board, I will say that even though you have trouble hiding or finding a place to hide, I will say that one detail does come to light for HX is that he could potentially guide you guys behind the ship entirely. So instead of like going back into the crashed or the ruined ship, you guys could potentially hide behind the entire vessel. But that's one little option that you got from the advantage. But right now, you guys are kind of standing out in the open.
Ship it is for me. And I'll start trying to get in the shadows and get out of sight.
Nahele will follow HX. Sorry.
Yep, and Oola follows those two.
Okay, and just to be clear, we're heading into the ship or to the back?
The edge.
The edge, okay.
The edge of the ship.
Okay. Why don't you all roll a stealth check for me? I'm going to give you 1 black die each because no one succeeded their initial rolls to see if we can blend into the shadows well. If 2 of you
I succeeded.
What's that?
I succeeded.
Oh, I see 2.
Triumph. Triumph is just an automatic success.
Oh, I didn't see the triumph. Yep, so you're fine. So, but for Nahele and Oola, you guys will definitely have to roll stealth with 1 setback dice. I'm not.
Let me re-roll again. I'm
You don't
such a
know.
dummy.
You don't have to. You got 5 successes, even with a black die. 2 of your successes might get removed, so you're fine.
Okay.
Just don't forget to update the sheet as you're rolling, because that'll make a big difference. We'll say, HX, with your triumph, I'm going to give it to you, so you do find a space in the shadows to hide. As for Oola and Nahele, you guys blend in very well too. Even though you didn't find initially a place to hide, with HX's help, you guys kind of like sink into the shadows and feel confident that whoever approaches the chamber isn't going to be able to easily identify where you are. So, is there any preparatory stuff you guys would like to do before I advance the scene forward?
I just
Not
want to
I.
note that Oola has her lightsaber still in her hand, though it's disengaged.
Okay.
Neil is going to pull out her light blaster pistol as well.
And HX, what would you like to do?
Waiting, ready for if there's going to be somebody to find us.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to pan back to Suseel. Suseel, first I'm going to ask you a question. How fast are you moving down this darkened corridor? Remember, it is dark. I will say, because the soldiers probably had a little head start on you, you can't even see the headlight lamps on their helmets to help guide you. So how fast would you be moving to try to get to your party members?
I think she'd be moving as quickly as she can, but she would also try to be cautious because she's already, she's already a little tired. So she's kind of minding her own potential exhaustion. So she's moving as quickly as she can given the circumstances, I guess you could say. So is she running? No, but she's trying to find the path because she couldn't find it before. Find the path forward that she cannot see in the dark. So she might be struggling a little bit.
All right. So what I will have you do is I'll give you 2 choices here. You can do a survival check and kind of use your hands to kind of guide you along the wall, or you can try to do a perception check and try to like really strain your eyes and pretty much all your senses to try to not trip over your feet. If you use survival, it will be a 2 difficulty with 1 setback dice. The setback dice obviously being because it's dark and you really can't see at all. If you do perception, it will still be 2 difficulty die, but because you're not utilizing the crutch of the cavern's wall, it'll be 2 setback dice because of no support and it's dark.
She'd probably do survival for this one.
Okay, go ahead and give us a roll.
So it's 2 difficulty and 1 setback dice?
Yeah, 1 setback dice because it's pitch black. Your character can't see, so that's what's giving you that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with 3 failures there, but you do have an advantage. So what I'm going to say is your failure in this moment isn't that you're fumbling or tripling on yourself, because I'll use 2 of those advantages to kind of narratively twist this. We'll just say that you're moving a lot slower than you probably would like in this moment because you have to use the wall as a crutch. You're still advancing forward, but not at a speed that would get you caught up to the soldiers that are now most likely well ahead of you. While you're doing this, is there anything you would like to do or what's going on in your character's head, kind of as like an RP perception of what's going on with your character at this moment in the dark, alone, utilizing the cavern's wall to try to guide herself through this corridor?
She's just trying to push forward. She's frustrated a little bit, but she knows that she feels better because she knows the kids got out one she was able to help save. So in her mind, she's like, well, that was what was important, but I still need to make sure that the people that she came with are okay. And she knows that because of those guards and everything, it's most likely that she doesn't have 100% idea of where they went, but she has a pretty good clue. So she's trying to get to them so that she can help them if she needs to help them. So she's got a lot of emotions running through her brain right now, but I think at the end of the day, she's at least sound in mind that the kids got out, so that isn't like running in her head that there's these children she has to save. It's more or less she just needs to get to her party so they can get out safe now.
That sounds good. And because you're falling behind, I have to pan to the other group now. So you guys are hidden in the shadows. You're prepared for whatever is coming. And you guys start seeing a light source breaching the darkness from the entrance to this like chamber you're in this cave network. You see like, you know, lights basically just illuminating, and they're getting bigger and bigger until you guys see what looks to be six of these darkly clad soldiers walking into the area. Obviously, they are not aware of you, but they seem to have a heightened alertness to them because something brought them here. I will say for HX, because he's the most tech savvy, he probably can assume that there may have been some sort of sensors that have been placed around this crashed vessel, probably just to monitor it. I mean, that's probably very easy for him to figure out because you guys didn't see these kind of armored soldiers on the surface. So something must have dragged the attention here, and I will give that to HX. Let me put these guys on the board so you guys can see how far they are from you. They're pretty far. You guys obviously are engaged, so they're kind of like at extreme range at the moment from you. Not like you can act upon them, and you guys are from extreme range from them. So, but they are searching, and they are slowly getting closer to you guys as they're like scanning the walls with their headlamps. They're scanning the ground. They're trying to find clues and evidence of the disturbances that they might have picked up. What I will ask you all to do, though, is to roll just a perception check. HX won't get the black die, but Nahele and Oola will get one setback dice because it's dark. And this is just to determine whether or not you guys can recall these individuals, like what they're wearing, to see if you can get the details enough to recall what you've experienced on Belkadan.
I'm going to go keen-eyed, which is to remove a black die from perception or vigilance check.
Okay, and explain how you're removing that from your moment here. Narratively, how are you removing this objective in front of you?
She's actually going to raise her head just a little bit so she can see over Nahele. But make sure that she keeps herself within the shadows still.
Okay, so HX and Oola. Oh no, Oola, you still have to roll though. Hold on.
Right.
Okay, cool. So HX and Oola, you guys rolled successes, so that's awesome. And you do identify that what they're wearing is very much like the soldiers that were coming off the drop ships in Belkadan from those large Sith dreadnoughts that you saw above the planet's surface. Um, their headlamps for both of you kind of provide you enough details to understand that these people are most likely not friendly, for sure, and at least give you enough knowledge that they are aware that there's activity in this area. Even if their presence alone might have given you that awareness, it is now certainty that they are aware. Why they're on this planet may be raising a lot of questions for you in this moment, because remember, there was no really big signs on the surface that the Sith had a presence on this planet, but they apparently do. I will also say, because Oola rolled a threat, she made a slight noise when she was trying to examine what their details were. It wasn't enough to completely pinpoint your location, since you did succeed, but now they're kind of moving, kind of almost beelining it towards you guys in a cautious way. Like something from that sounded natural to them, but it was enough to go, well, maybe we should go check that out. So they are slowly making their way towards you guys now. All right. Anything you guys would like to do as they're approaching?
Ready my blaster pistol and aim.
Nahele will feel around on the ground carefully to see if there's anything she could pick up and throw to distract them.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, roll a survival, just with one black die, just because, darkness and stuff. Awesome.
It was actually going to do the same thing to make it sound like perhaps like a herd of those rats.
Okay, go ahead and roll survival for me as well.
With the black die?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, you succeed too. So you both have these sizable rocks. We'll say they're probably, you could probably hold them with 3 fingers. So they're sizable, but not very big. Obviously for you, Nahele, they're probably a little bit smaller than your 3 fingers because your race has those large chunky digits.
Yes.
But you guys are holding them. I will say again, because Oola got threat, I'm going to eliminate the threat this time for her because she got the triumph. So there wasn't any more subtle noises made during that process, and because you didn't get any advantages or threat to your roll, Nahele, you were very daft and silent picking up that little rock. So you guys have those rocks. They advance one more space. So now they are in medium range to you guys.
Nahele would look at Oola and kind of look to their left and nod that direction so that they could both throw their rocks together.
Oola would nod so that they agreed.
And then Nahele would pull back her arm to throw.
All right. If you're going to throw, you see under your combat skills ranged?
Get to combat skills. Okay.
Let's turn the rocks away from them.
I know. You're not throwing it at them, but this is just to do an agility because it's based off of, yeah. So you'll use your ranged light to see if you can successfully throw it far enough away that it starts taking their attention away from where you are and towards the new direction.
Okay, I need a little help on that.
It's under combat skills. Go down further under like vigilance and then down further.
Yep, under vigilance, I have weapons, and then combat skills. I don't have anything there currently.
Oh, on your skills page?
Yeah, I can add something. What should I add?
Oh, let me check your sheet. Niela, let's see what's going on with your sheet.
I don't have it either, so I think you have to add it manually.
Oh, no, you do. So if you go to your skills tab, Niela.
Oh, skill. I went to the combat tab. Okay. Ranged light. Got it.
Yes, there you go. Sorry if I misspoke.
No, I misinterpreted.
So Oola will hold up her fingers so that on 3 that they'll throw.
Sounds good. And do we have any setback or we just throw?
It is setback because it's dark out. I will say your likelihood of hitting them unintentionally is low because you can see their headlamps, but you don't know technically where you're throwing it into that darkness. You just know the direction you're throwing it into the darkness. So it's kind of like that magic missile pun or meme about shooting a magic missile into darkness.
Okay.
Great. So you both
But we're
succeed.
good at it.
You throw your rocks pretty much the opposite direction of you guys. You hear the sound of the rocks hitting the stone wall, and it makes that like sound. I will say, because you both rolled threat on this, narratively, they're not leaving the general area. They haven't moved towards the rocks, but now their backs, from what you can tell, are turned away from you because their headlamps are facing the opposite direction. So you did at least succeed in getting them looking away from your direction at this moment. Anything else you'd like to do?
Oola's gonna tuck down. Nice. She's waiting to see if they're gonna bother to advance or move away.
Hey, Niela's going to follow Oola's example.
I'm going to look for them to be looking away and try to move one up.
I'm assuming under stealth, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead, roll a stealth check for me as you advance to short range.
Standard difficulty.
For you, yes, because you do have the modification on your druid. Oh yeah, you succeed. Niela and Oola really don't. They could see like that silhouette of your form moving away, but once you move into short range and away from their engaged range, they no longer can see you as the darkness kind of like consumes you, and you're kind of hanging in the shadows, so these 6 soldiers don't identify you. I will have you roll a perception check because Suseel at this moment is going to be now entering the chamber. So Suseel's also going to have to roll a stealth check with a 1 black die.
Using my 1 advantage from my last.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'll paint the scene here. So HX, you actually can see the silhouette of another individual entering the chamber. As your vision starts to correct itself, and thankfully to the, the benefits of the headlamps coming off the soldiers that are not too far from you now, they do provide you enough light source to give you like that dim light quality in the direction of where you see Suseel finally entering the area. Suseel, you do manage to get in, but you kind of slip off to the side into the shadows because you successfully hide yourself. However, because you did get some threat, these soldiers hear potentially the sound of like maybe sand shifting against stone. It's not necessarily indicating where you are because you were successful, but now they're kind of moving towards the exit of this chamber again. So with all that painted, what would the four of you like to now do? Obviously, Oola and Nahele, you guys have no idea Suseel just entered. And to be honest, you two are the only ones that you can actually like vaguely see in this very low light space that you're in. It's like you can only see like a couple feet ahead of you. The rest of you can see everything.
As far as Nahele is concerned, their soldiers are moving away, and that's a good thing. And she's going to stay in place and not make any noise.
The same with Oola.
I'm going to move up.
She's gonna keep her hand against the ship itself so that she knows where that is at least.
Okay, and I heard HX is going to move up.
I'm going to move up and I'm going to chirp the mic and see if I can get their attention and try to tell them to move forward.
So could you describe that a little bit for me so I know exactly what your intentions are?
So I'm looking back at them and I'll let one of my eyes shine a little bit and I'll put the move forward, like put my other hand in front of my eye and tell them to move forward. We're trying to get around these people or just get away from them.
Oh, I see what you're doing. So you're not trying to tell them to move forward. You're trying to tell Oola and Nahele to move forward.
Correct. Yeah, using my stealth and making sure they don't see, because I'm using the advantage of them moving away to move forward.
Okay, so go ahead. First roll a stealth check for me, and then I'm going to have you do like this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to have you do another stealth check for the mic, because you're doing two stealth actions here. You're moving forward, and then you're trying to kind of like conceal your talking. Both are too difficulty for you because obviously there's no obstruction for you. Perfect. Yeah, you have no problems advancing forward. Having the ability to see the way your character sees is obviously advantageous for you. And then under a very low breath, and thankfully you can do it in a very subtle way because you don't require breathing. Oola and Nahele can hear your voice very faintly through their comms. Now, Suseel, did you transmit also to Suseel?
It was open comms to the team.
Okay. So Suseel, you also hear the command from, HX, because you've been around him long enough to know his voice, to move forward. What would the three of you like to do in this moment as HX had just advanced forward, still hidden, and just advised you all to move forward?
Oola's gonna carefully inch forward, keeping a hand on the ship, trying to stay still within any shadow that's there. She's not standing upright. She's crouched, so she's basically just walking forward carefully.
Yeah. Nahele's going to reach out a hand to feel for where Oola is, and then carefully follow her because she's always concerned that she's going to make noise or draw attention.
That's fair. And what about you, Suseel?
Suseel can see these people, right?
You can see the soldiers. Their headlamps are slowly careening in your direction. They haven't spotted you yet because you succeeded initially on your stealth. So it's kind of like that threatening moment of like any moment they could turn just at the right degree and catch you. So you can see them, but the rest of the group, you really can't see.
I think what she's going to do is probably duck down and kind of crouch back a little bit more into the shadow, because she sees them like coming toward her, or at least potentially. So she's trying to get in like a shadowed area where maybe even if they turn toward her, their lamps would not hit. So she could potentially just be just out of sight.
All right, go ahead, roll stealth. It'll be 2 difficulty, again with 1 black die.
Was that all 3 of
Right.
us or just Suseel?
Actually, you all can roll stealth because you 2 are moving forward. I will say if you move any more forward, you will not have the support of the ship to guide you.
I'm gonna use a light side point.
Probably wise.
Okay. And upgrade. I just click the 1 upgrade, right? I don't do anything else.
Yep, just the 1 upgrade. It'll automatically upgrade your dice pool by 1.
Okay. Here we go. Prayers, everyone.
Oh my
Nope.
God. How?
Prayers do not matter.
Well, we found our distraction.
Yeah, you certainly did, because... Suseel? I feel like your last session and going into this one, that luck's just going with you.
Yeah, Cecile tries to step back, but then she I'm gonna just have it where she falls. Really rather loudly.
Okay.
Trips and
Go ahead.
nope, Cecile's trying to, make her, because she doesn't really see the others yet. She just sees the guards. So she was like, I'm just gonna scratch back here. And then she, mismanages her footsteps and flops back, and in a rather loud way. And, she's just there on the ground then looking up to these guards.
Okay. Well, Suseel, you do certainly feel confident in moving enough to try to hide. However, when you fall, the sound in this chamber is amplified quite a bit because of, it's a cave. And you watch the headlamps just suddenly lock right onto you. This is like the worst day your characters had in a very long time. First you run into an Imperial listening outpost, and now you've got them locked in on you. Once again, it's like you cannot catch a break. And these soldiers instantly raise their carbines up at you. They've got their aim locked, and one of them literally just shouts, "What are you doing here?" And they move forward 1.
Cecile's taking a different tack than she did before, and she's gonna be like, she just stands up with her hands up, and she's like, I'm an ambassador and representative for General what's her name? Kerrigan?
Oh, Berrigan?
What's Berrigan? She's gonna say, Berrigan with the Republic. I've come searching for children, and that is why I'm here.
So, standing here in this moment, and with them being so close to you now, you realize these aren't Republic soldiers. These are Sith soldiers. And the moment you say you're an ambassador from the Republic, one of them advances forward to try to, and this seems all too familiar to you, grab you by the bicep so that they can once again put you in binder cuffs.
Yep, it is. And she is going to, let me just check something that she's got. When one of them tries to grab her, she's going to use something she has in her inventory. She's got these like injectables that she's used one time before. She's got a synthetic neuroparalytic. And when they try to come to grab her, one of them, she's going to try to stab one of them with it.
Okay. Go ahead and use your brawl combat skill. 2
Okay.
purple, because they're just minions. And now one of them has actually entered their range. So the way minions work, obviously there's 3 enemies per token that's on the screen, so there's a total of 6. So they move as a group. So 3 of them have moved forward.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, that's all right. So you did have an advantage, so narratively I'll give you a little bit. So you go to pull it out, right? But you don't even get that far. This guy literally is going to just try to apprehend you. And they approach you so close that with the other 2 behind him, you kind of, in this moment, and this is probably where your advantage comes into play, is I don't know if you ever had this happen to you in real life where you're about to do something, but like your instincts kick in, you're like, I shouldn't do that. And that's exactly what happens to you right now. It's like your body just stops itself from doing something that could be disadvantageous towards you. So you don't pull it out. So you didn't waste it. So that's the advantage for you. And I'm going to have the soldier attempt to grab you here.
Yeah. And realizing, if she didn't do that, and realizing that, okay, that might not be the best, she is going to just fold. She's going to let them take her. Oh my god, this. She's going to let them, bind her. And she's going to say, she's not really going to say anything. She's going to let them bind her again. And she already knows where they're going to take her. So she's just kind of like, this again. She doesn't fight back or anything. She just knows that this is where she's going.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go over a little bit here because obviously there's 3 other players in this scene, and this is all happening probably within seconds. So the headlamps focus in on you, and as one grabs you, and you're not bound yet, it's just managed to grab you, and they're about to put the binder cuffs on you within this time frame. HX obviously is the first to see you clearly now, and seeing you being engaged with one of these soldiers. In the background, Oola and Nahele, they can see you clearly now too, because the headlamps are on your position. And even though they don't have that low light vision trait, because the lamps are on you, they can see you. And they can see that your back is turned, and they can see this one soldier within that source of light putting your arms behind your back. So what I'll have everyone do, if you're going to make an action, I'm going to have Oola, Nahele, and HX roll cool. They'll roll cool for me because they are aware of the encounter. I'm going to have the enemies roll vigilance because they're not aware of the other 3. And so they're going to be surprised by the unexpected encounter. So you guys go ahead, roll your cool dice for me. I'm going to have the enemies roll vigilance.
It's at a standard difficulty too.
Yeah. This is just for turn order.
And I'm using my advantage.
All right, so go.
Since they're Sith, is failure a good thing?
Yeah, for you guys, it's a good thing. So what happens is, because you guys had 2 successes, and even though HX had that 1 failure, that advantage is going to put him over the minions, because the minions didn't have even an advantage. So your player slots now are You get 3 player starts at the beginning. Then there'll be 2 enemy slots, and then you'll have 1 player slot at the bottom of the turn order, and that's only because Suseel is technically being apprehended right now, so her player slot has put you down to the bottom. Now, the way player slots work is you could still have Suseel act first if you wanted to, or you could narratively have her act last. You guys will have to decide which order you're going to attack every round, at least 3 players, and then the enemies will go, and then 1 more player slot. So since we're at the top of the turn order, if you are going to make an action at this point, let me know and we'll start the combat encounter.
I'll go last of the first 3.
Oola's actually willing to go first with the first 3.
Okay. Neil is good in either slot. Suseel, did you want to have an action sooner rather than later?
That means Suseel was just gonna let them apprehend her, so probably she'll probably go last. I mean, not last. She can go. She can go after. I think because HX is going last, right?
3 before, then the troopers, then one of us at the end. So HX is going before the troopers.
Okay, so I'll go. I'll be the final person then. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go after Oola.
Okay, well, then we're on round 1. Oola, you are up first.
She's actually going to stand up and take advantage of the commotion going on ahead of them and move forward into engage, is it?
So remember, you can move once, advance forward, or you can use a strain to advance 2 slots forward. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use strain to advance two slots.
Okay, so mark yourself down for 2 strain. So you'll add that to whatever strain has accumulated thus far, but I think Nahele might have cleansed most of the strain from you guys, so you will advance 2 forward.
And then, I'm sorry, what?
You advance 2 forward, so you're still only in short range. You couldn't quite get to engaged yet. You're kind of like running forward with your lightsaber.
And because I haven't bought it, I can't throw it, right?
Say that again?
Because I haven't bought the ability, I can't throw the lightsaber, correct?
I mean, you could throw the lightsaber. It's just not going to come back to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw my lightsaber then.
It could be funny.
The one
It's
above
not
short range is in
either.
the one above you is in short range. You should be able to attack.
She has to be engaged with her lightsaber.
Gotcha.
You guys can attack because you have the ranged weapons, but she doesn't. She only has the melee. For now.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, so is there any skill checks you want to do or anything before, or incidentals? Like incidentals, you can communicate. You could do like small things that don't like directly impact the scene.
No, she's just going to move up there. And she's probably going to motion to Nahele that she's moving forward.
Okay, and I'm assuming your lightsaber's ignited.
Not quite yet. She wants to stay as surprise them as much as possible.
All right, so because you ran forward in complete darkness, I'm going to have you roll athletics then. It'll be 2 difficulty with 1 black die, and the black die obviously is because you're running in darkness to try to get to these people. Even though you can see them, you can't see the ground before you. Okay. So you do have threat. You didn't technically fail, so what's going to happen is you make it forward. You do not fall prone. You don't trip. However, they are aware of your approach. That is the threat. That is the story narrative. The group that is in short range to you now turns around and their headlamps are fully facing your direction, Oola. So they're just aware of you.
Hi, guys.
That's a very Star Wars thing to go do. Hi. All right. So, Nahele, I believe you're second. Hello. All right, Nahele, it's your turn.
So Neil is going to take advantage of the lights that are now turned on Oola to move up one carefully, and then aim at the soldiers that are now in short range of her and fire her pistol.
Okay, great. So it will be 2 difficulty because you're using a blaster, basically, at medium range. So it'll be 2 difficulty. Aim, you would technically have to sacrifice your movement, so you won't get the blue die in this situation. But you also don't get a black die in this situation because, well, you can see them. So you have the advantage in that situation.
Okay.
Hey, nice. Woohoo. Okay, so let's see. Just get their sheet up. See how much damage you did to them.
5 damage.
Nice. All right, so your blaster shoots, and as the bolt leaves its chamber, the light illuminates around it, and you hit one of the soldiers kind of in its upper torso along its shoulder. You see that headlamp of that soldier kind of like jerk back because of the motion that you just forced it into. The soldier still seems to be standing. Maybe the armor absorbed some of that damage, but yeah, you did great. Their numbers are a little bit more not as keen, I guess, right now. They got a little more damage to them, so that's great. All right, and then HX, your turn.
Gonna use the advantage for my cool, like I set up in a perfect spot, aim down the sights and fire.
Okay, go for
at the north, at the ones that are closest.
Yep, same difficulty, just because you're in medium. Nice. So that's 7-8 damage you did there. Cool, that's awesome. -2 because I do have a little so. All right. So you shoot. Again, the individual. So wait, you did 6, 7, 8. So -2, that would be 6. Oops. So yes, you do actually knock out one of the soldiers in that group of 3. The guy falls to the ground dead because you didn't set the stun, and you hear that heavy plastic armor sound that you would typically hear from stormtroopers, but these are Sith troopers hitting the ground. It is now their turn. The group that you guys have been firing into, they're in the perfect distance to engage the Twi'lek that said hi, and they open fire on her first. They also get 2 difficulty. Oh no, I believe they're carbines, so they do get 2 difficulty, so you're fine. Okay, phew. Carbines are a little different from regular blasters. So. And they don't get any disadvantages because they have headlamps to guide their sight. Oh no. Oh no. So Oola, you are going to take 10 points of damage.
-4, so 6.
Okay, and then I gotta.
Ooh. I thank you for that privilege. Okay, what does that mean? Where do I put that?
It should be
Yeah.
critical injuries. There's a tab under critical injuries under defense and encumbrance. You'll add it. And it will be a 1 difficulty on that.
On where?
So if you hit critical injuries, hit add button underneath it.
Hang on. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what this does is it's going to actually add 1 extra difficulty die to you when you're making any actions during this critical injury.
So critical number is 1?
Correct.
Okay. Hopefully that's right.
And then under the description part,
Okay, I'm not understanding where the description area is.
see if I can do that for you.
Okay.
First time doing critical injuries.
Take my fingers away.
What's that?
Take my fingers away from everything so you can do it.
Oh, I see what you did here. So you did 1 to 5. Interesting that it did that. So you actually rolled an 8. How'd you put the minor nick in?
Oh, I put add because I thought that's where the description was. And that's what put that up. Otherwise, they just put 1 under a critical number.
Okay. Well, then, hey, we're learning together today, so this is cool. Remove. Okay, we're going to heal that one. So you rolled a 18. Nice. Okay, so that's how we add them. Cool. Dice roll offset 10. Minor nick. That's not right. So we're just going to have to keep track of that, unfortunately, because I don't think this is working as intended. In the future, when you actually... All right, Tony, why don't you hit the roll critical for me on your critical injuries? Just so we can see how this works. Okay. We're going to ignore what that says for now, but in the future, when we get critical injuries, you'll just have to hit the roll critical, and that will tell us what the effects are for you. That's perfect.
Oh, okay.
So for now, we'll keep that there. We're going to put off for the effects because we don't want you to get an effect on your dice roll, but just keep in mind that you have that 1 injury. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. The second group of soldiers, now that they see the approaching allies of Hallie, Suseel, coming, they don't really know that Suseel's allies with them, right? But they're going to let go of you, Suseel, because they clearly don't think you're a threat at this moment, and they are going to attempt again to open fire on the most forward an ally, and that would be Oola. However, their difficulty is going to be raised by 1 because they're shooting from even further than short ranged, and they're actually, I think carbines might be 2 at me. Brace yourself, Oola. Oh my lord. Okay, so Oola, you take an additional 11 damage.
I'm down then.
In this moment, you guys watch as your Jedi ally just crumbles to the ground. She has taken some severe damage, and she is now unconscious. She's not dead. She's unconscious currently. So.
Yeah, that took me 5 over my threshold.
Wait, just a quick check, Oola. What were you at before the fight?
7. Oh, I was 7 of 13.
Okay. So
I had 6.
I think
I forgot to take my soak, didn't I?
I'm looking back at my notes from the last session because after the heal, I think you and Carek were both above 10. I think he had 11 and you had 12. So did you increase after the medicine check last turn?
Yes. I was down to 1 because you did a healing.
Okay.
I think she's asking if your hit points should have been 12, Tony.
I have no idea.
So if you had 1 wound, what's your threshold?
Threshold is 13. And my threshold would have been 12. The way I do it is it shows backwards to what you guys do, I think.
Okay, I think you're still at -1. So I don't know if it matters how far negative we go.
No, once you hit 0, you're 0. But if for some reason they attack her again and they get successes, she may be dead. So.
Okay, let's not have that happen.
Yeah. All right. Top of the turn order. Oh, no. Suseel. Sorry. Your turn. You just watched Oola get shot down.
Okay, well, I guess Suseel is going to... Oh my god. She is going to... What would Suseel do in this moment, since she's had so much success? Can she do... Can I ask this, would these guards have seen her before because she was captured?
What do you mean?
Would these guards have seen her when she was one of the people they had captured before? Or is this a different group of guards? They would not have known that she had been captured by them before.
Well, the one thing about the Sith, and probably very much like the Republic, is all their soldiers wear the same stuff. So it might be a little hard to tell if these are the same guards that captured you initially.
I mean, so most likely these are not the same guards, because they would have known if they captured her, not if she knows if they're the same people. Okay. That's fine. All right. So I'm going to have Suseel, since they're no longer, they're no longer focused on her, but they just shot down Oola. So what she's gonna do is what she tried to do before. She's gonna take her neuroparalytic and she's gonna try to stab this in this person.
All right, go ahead and do your
Who's like
brawl.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I'm going to give you a blue die because they don't think of you as a threat and their attention is fully off of you.
Okay, good. And I'm gonna use so I'll have 2 blue die because I'm gonna use my advantage for my last roll that I had. Okay, and then that's brawl. See if I can get something off. It's 2 difficulty.
Correct.
I don't know. It's difficult to get that when you just have 1, so.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't think, at this point, if you don't have a minimum 2 or something, there's no reason to do it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get blanks on your purple die, right? Because we've seen that happen. We've seen people with really high skill checks still fail against 2 purple, right? So it can happen, but it's just a higher probability that it's unlikely to happen, right? If your skills are lower in certain things. All of this said, you swing it. I will say, because it didn't hit, you actually don't use up the syringe though. It's still within your possession. And I will say on top of it, because you failed to hit, they don't even notice you attacked them.
Well, I'd say if she failed to hit and like fumbled it, I think she wants them to see her though. I think that's the thing. So even if she doesn't necessarily hit them to hurt them, she wants them to know that she's here and she's not. She's just trying to get their attention now. That's what she's trying to say.
Gotcha.
And I think I think what she'll do then is she'll say, "You think this is the only Jedi here? There's another Jedi here. You can't even see him yet. What do you all think you're doing?"
And that's your incidental for this round?
Yeah, that's my.
Okay, great. I will note that. And now we're on round 2. You guys will have to decide which order you'd like to do your attacks. And we'll go from there.
I'll go first.
Nahele and Suseel, since you're down 1 player slot, only 2 of you can act before the soldiers because one of the 3 player slots would have been obviously Oola's. So
She just lays on the ground like a pink blob.
Okay. I'll go after HX, if that works for you, Suseel.
No, you're good. I think you all can't. I mean, I'll have to act after the soldiers, so.
all right.
Aim down sights and fire.
Awesome. And you use a blaster, right? Yep. So.
Yep.
Okay, but you have an advantage, so that's good to note for future. Or you could pass that along. But you shoot, and the vocals overhead. Obviously, now they're kind of aware of you too, but they don't act. Did you want to move or do anything else? Like
No, I'm good. I'll try to duck behind whatever cover I can find, and give my advantage to Nahele to shoot the guy in the leg at the front. He seems like he's limping.
great. So why don't you just roll a quick perception for me, and if you succeed, I'll give you partial cover if they happen to attack you, which make their difficulty just a little harder to hit you.
Standard difficulty.
Yes. Perfect. Yep, you do manage to find like a little like alcove within the rock facing, and you kind of squeeze yourself into it. You're still slightly exposed, but you got some cover now to hide behind when you need to. And now, Nahele, your turn.
Neela's going to, well, will look towards Oola, but realize that they just need to keep the attention off of her and aim and fire at the group of two. And then she won't have any other option. Like, incidentally, she'll look for a cover afterwards, but I don't think she could move anymore.
Okay, so are you moving forward?
I'm going to stay at the same range and aim.
Perfect. Go ahead.
With the advantage from me, she should have 2 blue.
Okay, I'm also taking HX as offered advantage.
So 2 blue die. Oh my god, what's going on with the dice today? That's insane.
They've got my dice from last night.
Or they're stealing
We
from
rolled too well early.
Alright, so you shoot, and maybe the sight of your ally falling to the ground was a lot for you in this moment, and your shot just goes wide, and it misses. The soldiers at this moment are going to take it, and the first group is going to fire towards actually HX. So they're going to get 3 difficulty to try to hit HX because he is behind cover. Wow. Okay, so that's 11 damage.
I have 1 soak. I have 10 wounds.
Oh no! So that's 10 damage.
I'm at 1.
Oof. Alright, so you're still up. And the other group, they're actually going to take this moment and they're going to try to seize Suseel again. And they will give Suseel the feelings that they might try to drag her off while their other squad is keeping the others at bay. Because her title that they threw at them earlier may have given them a reason to apprehend her rather than trying to cease her existence. So let's see how well they do, though, because their brawl is probably not good either. So, and it'll be 2 difficulty because I don't think you're going to just let them do this again in Suseel.
Nope, she's not going to. When they try to apprehend her, she's going to say to them, she's going to say, listen, I've been down to your little facility down there. I've seen those children you've got locked up in there. And who do you think triggered this whole alarm in the first place? There is, at this moment, a squadron of Republic soldiers down there. Do you really want to deal with them? Do you really want to deal with us? I think you are in over your head here.
Okay, well,
I guess she's going to try deception because it's all a lie.
yeah, we'll wait till they roll first, see if they succeed, and then we'll go into your turn.
Okay.
Don't succeed, so they don't grab you, and you say these things to the group of soldiers in front of you, so go ahead, and you're attempting to deceive them. Go ahead and make your roll. It'll be 2 difficulties since they're only minions. They don't get any special traits or anything. All right, and you have advantage. So you talk to them, and you're going into this dialogue to convince them that there is reinforcements within the area that is run by the Republic. These soldiers, just like any military, there's probably a breakdown of communication and how that works, and they're probably on the lowest of the lowest rung of it. They take a moment, and maybe this is why they didn't successfully grab you, is because your words made them pause. And you hear one of them go, "We need to fall back now. Fall back. We'll report what we found here, and we'll get news from our superiors on what our next actions are. Let's go, go, go." And so the three of them near you start to fall back. So they're actually going to... You kind of force their movement this turn. They weren't going to move, but you're kind of forcing their movement. So they fall back one away from you. So now we're on the top of the turn order again. Remember, you have 2 player slots. Poor Oola is down at the moment. Go ahead and let me know what order you guys are going to go.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, I can go after HX.
Awesome.
Okay.
I have advantage from before that I would like to pass back to HX.
Absolutely can do that.
Okay, I'm gonna take aim using the advantage and roll 2 blue die.
Okay, so that's 8.
That'll be 8 with an advantage.
Yeah, your critical is what, 3 or 4 with the lesser?
Yeah, it's 3, I believe.
Okay. All right, so...
And then I'll try to slip back in the little cubby I'm in.
Okay, so these soldiers are looking not so good now. Their numbers have fallen down to 1 soldier left. The other 3, you do see them, but they seem to be falling back with their guns pointed towards your group, but they are in the mode of heading back into the corridor beyond you guys. And go ahead, Niela.
Okay. Neela recognizes that HX is pretty injured, and so she's going to move forward within short range and then fire again at the remaining soldier.
Okay, and that should be only 1 purple die because you have a pistol.
Yes.
All right. So, Niela, on your last shot, you take out the final soldier within that grouping. They're gone. Dead. The whole group's gone. Is there any incidentals you'd like to do? You can do a skill check to check on poor Oola.
Yes, I would absolutely like to do that. What can I attempt to heal her, or how am I checking on her? What can I do in this moment?
So this round, you're going to be forced, unfortunately, to do like a medical check or a medicine check, because you're not going to be able to act. To actually like apply anything would take an action. So you can at least check on her status.
Okay, and that would be 3 because she's unconscious.
Yes. So because she's unconscious and it is dark and you're in the middle of combat, so the 3 purple dice would be from the fact that you're still technically in a combat situation, and I'm going to add a black die because while there's still light source being portrayed onto your group, it's a low light source, so you're not going to be able to get the normal details that you would get in like a more illuminated space.
Okay, and with my med pack, I get a blue die for all medicine attempts.
Okay, perfect. And this is just to examine her wounds to hopefully make your actual application easier. That's fair. You know what? I feel like that dice roll is very accurate to the situation. You're in the dark. There's still people attempting to potentially shoot at you while they're retreating back, and Oola is on the ground while you're standing. So that roll makes sense why you couldn't examine her like you normally would. And now it's the troopers' turn. Because they're falling back, they are going to attempt to make an attack against Suseel. Probably won't mention that again in the future, but you can downgrade enemy's dice if you so choose. They are going to attack you. Let me get their dice up. You ready, Suseel?
Yep, shoot me.
Shoot you! Oh no. Oh! Wow! See? You can have a good dice and still roll crappy. So they fire.
Rookie Jedi.
They fire and they miss, obviously. But they did get an advantage in this situation. And I will say, narratively, they're going to remember you, Suseel. Probably very vividly, too. That may not have an impact on you currently or in the near future, but that potentially could have an impact on you further in narrative stance. But they do fall back even further, so let me just adjust everyone here. So now they're in extreme range for most of the party except for you, Suseel. And they're kind of falling back into that tunnel that you came from. It is your turn now.
Cecile's not going to shoot back at them, but she's going to pull her pistol and point it at them and say, the Republic will prevail. And that's all she's going to say.
Okay. Taunt them a little bit. I like it. And now we're back to the top of the turn order. They're almost fled. Like, they're almost far enough where you guys might actually get out of combat here in a moment. But what would you guys like to do for the top of your turns? Who's acting first?
Move forward. I'm going to continue to move forward.
So moving forward.
Max without taking strain.
I'm actually going to see if I can go after HX and move closer to Oola and Nahele and look over to them, and she's probably gonna, because she knows how dark it is, she's gonna grab one of the helms of the fallen troopers and bring it over because it's got a light, right? So that will help.
Oh yeah, they got little headlamps on them.
Yeah, so she'll bring that over so that will help in aiding whoever needs to be aided.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of fall back from your position, and okay, so you advance towards the group. HX advances forward. The soldiers' turn. They are at medium range now to you, Suseel. So let me attempt to attack you again. They're determined.
Let me use light side.
Okay, you want to
Downgrade your pool.
Probably wise because they do hit hard.
Didn't Cecile move closer to Nahele?
She did. That's why I moved everyone back one. Downgrade, yes. Yeah, good call. So they fire, and their combined force of their carbines just letting loose into the chasm, or the chamber rather that you're in. Just they blare all around you, Suseel, and you're standing there like a badass with your pistol just pointed at them as you move backwards, and holding on to a one of the down troopers' helmets in your other arm. You've got a very heroic stance before you. And then they move even further.
A very heroic stance for somebody who's been like captured almost twice. He killed no.
You guys are almost out of combat because they are now entering long range. Okay, and now Nahele, what would you like to do?
I know I'm going to need more light, but so I'm going to wait for Suseel to move towards us closer so I can examine Oola again so that we can move her safely or try to heal her a little.
Okay, so you're going to hold off your turn for this round.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, now you're back up to what might be the final round here. You got 2 player slots to play with.
I mean, Cecile's move, she'd be, I guess, what would it be, short range? I guess she'd be short range with Nahele and them now.
Okay. Are you going to do anything else? You moved. Obviously, you could try to attack, but it'd be very difficult at this point.
Yeah, she's not going to attack. She's going to kind of have the light there for Nahele. And she's going to keep watching these troopers. And I think the only thing she'll kind of shout out is, I don't know if she'll even shout something out. She's going to watch them. She's also going to kind of brace herself just in case they do decide to shoot again. Just kind of prepare for that. But that's pretty much.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. And then we got one more player slot to go through.
Is Suseel close enough to Nahele for her to use that light?
Oh yeah, the light actually can go from short range, so it's a long enough beam where you can. She's probably shining it now on Oola.
Okay, I want to use that light to try to help Oola.
Awesome. All right, so you will get 2 difficulty just for the standard, because her wound actually is. Oh no, it's 3 difficulty, and then so we'll do the 3 difficulty to see if you can get her back up in HP. This will not be healing the critical injury. The critical injury is a separate roll, but at least you can get her up and about.
Okay, and I'll add 1 blue die from the med pack.
Perfect. Nice. Okay. So what does that do as far as healing? Let's see.
The successes count as heals of wounds, and add 2 to that because of ranks and surgeon, and the advantages should count towards healing strain, but I'm not sure how it all comes together with her being unconscious.
Okay, so let's take the successes. How much HP did you just provide her?
5.
Okay, go ahead, Oola, and apply 5 HP to your pool. You are now conscious again. And if you had any strain, how much strain would that heal off of Oola?
2.
So you can remove 2 strain as well, Oola.
Good.
Now you are conscious, but you're still disoriented because you have that critical injury on you. So you won't be able to act, obviously, this round. And since Suseel and Nahele already moved, it's the enemy's turn. It's their last turn, because obviously they are falling back. They are going to utilize a dark side point here. Let me spend that point here. and they're going to upgrade their attack. They're also going to use one of their advantages from their last roll. And they are going to attempt to attack, Suseel, since she's been the one that's been the most boisterous against this group of particular soldiers.
I have to be right back.
So they got one upgrade, but I believe it's also now 3 purple for them. And they get 1 blue die. All right, you ready for this, Suseel?
Yep. Take a shot.
Okay, not bad. You just take 9 damage, minus whatever soak you have.
Okay. Pull up my character sheet. It's not loading right now. That would put me. Actually, that I have a 13 threshold, but I was already down 3, I think. So I'm at 1 HP.
Oh my! Oh yeah, from your other encounter.
Yeah, 1 HP. Yeah, so she's at 1 HP. And I'm just gonna have her drop that light that she's been holding and kind of just move to her knees. Like she's on her knees from that shot, but she's not gonna actually fall down further than that. It's gonna be exasperated at this point.
That's 100% fair. And as you fall to your knees, the soldiers now are out of sight. Combat is over. You guys are free to act any way you'd like. Again, Oola does have a critical injury to her. She is disoriented, so when she's looking around, it's kind of like her eyes are kind of like spaced over. Her head kind of feels fuzzy. It's kind of like, she got hit over the head really hard. And then now Suseel is on the ground, pretty much probably catering to her wound with her free hand. So
Nahele is going to put her hand on Oola's shoulder and tell her to don't try to get up. Just stay seated. The soldiers are gone. I'm going to go over there and help Suseel now and wait for her to respond.
She's gonna
I'm gonna-
respond disoriented, just nod her head at the moment. It's like, and then she's gonna snap to a little bit, say, "They're gone. Are they dead? Or are they reporting us?"
Okay. Nahele will reply that half of them are dead. The rest got away.
Not drag my-
Just groan.
I'll drag myself out of the little cubbyhole I'd stuck myself in and start walking towards the ship. Well, towards the exit, really.
Nahele's going to look over at HX and say, "Stop. Do you have anything that can heal yourself?"
Yes, but it's better done at the ship.
Okay. I'm not sure what we're going to encounter on our way out. And then she's going to move over to Suseel, grab the light, and then check her for wounds and try to heal her too.
okay, so you're moving up to Suseel, and you're going to attempt a medicine check on her.
Yes. And I think it's 2 because she still has 1 wound, 1 hit point.
Yes, it will be 2 difficulty, correct? Yep.
Okay. And 1 blue from the med pack.
Ooh.
I'm not sure what a triumph does with medicine.
Let's find out.
Okay, so the successes without the triumph would be 3 plus 2 from surgeon plus 2 from the triumph. That would be 7.
Cool. All right, Cecilia, you got 7 HP to your name.
Plus the 1 she had.
Yep, so 8. So I'm almost back to where I was. So she's going to take a deep breath and just kind of still hold her wound a little bit, but feel like she can just kind of prop herself up a little bit more and be like, we have to get out of here. I don't know how long we've held them off. And there's, yeah. What matters is we're all here. And she looks around. She's like, almost. Do we know where Carek is?
Niala would let Suseel know that Carrick left before the soldiers got here. He was going to go back to the ship to try to find you.
Okay. And she says, well, then he's fine. And the kids are fine. Well, most of them. That's a long story. We'll talk about it as we get out of here. But we cannot stay here any moment longer. And she just looks to Oola and she's like, whatever we have to do to get Oola standing and moving, we have to do.
Okay. Neil would nod. Ask Suseel, are you able to get up? Can you move on your own okay?
Oh, that was towards you, Cecile. She might have gotten pulled away for a second.
Okay. Cool. She'll also, Neil will move back to Oola and help her stand and provide some support since she still seems kind of out of it.
Okay. And while this was happening, HX, I know you wanted to advance forward. Are you still going forward?
Yeah, I was gonna just start limping towards the exit.
So
We got to get out of here.
Let's say you move at least more forward during all that. And so you're going to just pick up Oola, kind of, and worry about that, probably the critical later, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so what we'll do here is we will take our 15-minute break, and we'll convene again, and we'll just continue where we left off.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Yes, see you guys in 15 minutes. And that's fair. She hardly ever does that, right? So. All right. So you put the data pad away. You put the communications down. And at the cockpit, HX has the astrogation system up and going. Oola, you've got the piloting controls operational. And honestly, this might be the best place to stop, because this will be an easy jumping point to get Carek back involved when the next time we meet. Because I'm sure there's going to be some conversations on your trip. There was a lot that went on, a lot of actions that happened, and for roleplay purposes, I think they're going to be very interesting. So,
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good. This was fun.
all right. Well, thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Have a good
Yes.
night.